Right. I think that's a good question. I mean, is cold calling finally dead? Like, are we done with it in B2B? And I would say, when I work with clients, my general answer to that is yes, but with an asterisk kind of thing. Like, I think there's circumstances where it makes some sense, right? Like, let's say you have sales reps that are territorial. They only have 1,000 prospects in their territory. You know, they're going to have to reach out to all of those prospects, right? So they're going to do that by phone, boots on the ground, yada yada, that kind of thing. So there, it certainly is still alive and well and needs to be part of the prospecting, process for account executives, account managers, so on and so forth. As far as what we mean by it in general, like cold calling, when you have a wide net, and we used to put people on the phones and bang out calls and get a hold of somebody. Hey, do you have this pain point? Can you use this kind of thing? Yeah, to that end, it's dead, right? I mean, I want clients to be driving inbound leads for sales. I don't want to see sales reps, certainly in the United States, that are 75, 90, 100,000 plus base plus commission. I don't want them cold calling, right? Certainly not. Can you still take reps, let's say in Latin America or Southeast Asia, and throw them on the phones and make it work? Depends on your target audience, right? Like, I think there's some cases where it can be effective enough to justify it, right? But I think there's other ways to market and advertise that are going to drive leads easier, faster, better, more predictably, and at a lower cost. I mean, I certainly think email in B2B is going to be number one, but I think there's other things you can do, LinkedIn webinars, to educate people on something. And then, of course, out of that, you're going to get leads. I just think there's other ways to do it other than cold calling. Now, does that change the sales team structure in B2B companies? So, kind of the same thing. Obviously, it depends a little bit. I would say that it does, insofar as, the old days of, a dozen sales reps and everybody's banging the phones to generate leads and then, close sales and all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's gone. You might layer, so you're reducing the number of sales staff, because I want the sales staff in B2B to be scheduled, to be booked, right? I want them to have a full plate of customers or a full plate of appointments. If they're account managers, account executives, I want them to have full territories, right? So, then you have to do lead gen to bring them, leads for them to gain their customer base. But once they build out their customer base, then they're calling on their existing customer base, right? If we're talking about hunter sales team, like they're doing presentation close, and then that's a handoff to somebody else in the organization, and they're not in a relationship with that customer going forward, then yeah, I would say as a general rule, those sales teams are certainly changing. I mean, I think you're reducing the number of salespeople, because I want all of those salespeople to have full schedules. I want them to have sales call appointments booked every day, all day, right? And you might have them do a little following up on leads. Maybe you have a mini SDR team that's following up on inbound leads to help schedule those salespeople. I think it depends on your lead to conversion to appointment ratio and other things. And when I work with clients, we got to look at a lot of different things there. But I think it's some way, somehow, I want those salespeople to be scheduled from beginning to end and during the day. If there's some follow-up on their part, again, on inbound leads, that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that, as long as it's not like the whole day. I mean, if it's a small portion of the day, that's fine. Otherwise, if it's going to be a very large portion of the day, then I would rather SDR, BDR type staff do that and set those people up. But I want reps in general to be scheduled with full appointments from beginning to end throughout the day, and that hunter sales role, right? So yeah, it changes your sales team structure. There's no question. I think it reduces it. I think it reduces the number of people employed in that position in the United States. Certainly because our salaries, due to cost of living and other things, keep increasing. We have a lot of clients for my agency that are recruiting in, Latin America, Southeast Asia. Some are utilizing, BPO outsourced firms, that have reps overseas or near shore for the purposes of, again, helping to fill appointments and schedules and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's when you have to take a hard look at your sales team structure. And yeah, cold calling in the sense that most of us think of it is pretty much dead at this point, and I don't recommend it for clients. But again, going back to the beginning, I think there's a time and a place for reps to be doing their own prospecting. But I think again, it's that account manager, account executive role where they have a limited number of prospects to go after in their territory, let's say, or in their vertical, in which case then it does make sense. Like they can cold call for a few months and that's no big deal. But to build their customer base, and again, if they have a limited target audience, sure.